Hey, this is Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in the game Regicide. This is a cooperative game that uses a regular deck of cards, although there is a board game arena version with this nice art, and also a printed version with this fun art as well. Again, this is a cooperative game where you are kind of attacking your way through the face cards in a deck of cards, the jacks, the queens, the kings, and you are just trying to make your way through those cards so that you kill the last king. And you do so cooperatively by taking a pretty simple action on your turn with abilities based on the suits on the card or cards that you play. There are a few ways that you can play multiple cards. Typically, you're only going to play one card. And each suit has a different ability. And let me jump to my favorite mechanism, and then I'll jump around for a few other things that I like about the game. But my favorite mechanism is there is no default way to draw cards in this game. Oftentimes, in most games that I can think of, there's a default way to draw cards, like an action that you go to draw cards. Maybe you're just given a card at a certain time in the game. At the end of your turn, you draw a card. At the beginning of your turn, you draw a card. Not so in this game. In Regicide, you need another player, and I hope I get the suit right. You need a player to play a diamond. And if a player plays a diamond, then based on the number on that card, so I have a 9 of diamonds here, if I played a 9, then we'd go around the table and each player would draw one card until we have drawn a total of 9 cards. So this is a huge point of cooperation in this game, because the only way that you can get more cards in your hand, which you need to defeat the kings, the queens, the jacks, are to draw more cards and have more cards in hand. I really like this. It's such a kind of an obvious thing. When I was playing it, it's a very simple thing, but I really like the element of cooperation added by the fact that the only way you draw cards is by having a player or multiple players play diamond cards. Let me jump around to a few other things that I like about this game, because it's a clever design. We played back-to-back on Board Game Arena the first time I played. We lost both times, but we got a little further. I love the escalating difficulty. So you can see here there's a jack. The jack has 10 attacks, so they're going to deal 10 damage and 20 health. Whereas the next level, the queens have 15 damage, or deal 15 damage. They have 30 health. Then it ramps up even higher for the king. I believe it's 20 and 40. So I like that escalation. I like the ramping in difficulty throughout a game itself. I like that the spades are used to block the attack and on an ongoing basis. So if first turn the jack comes out and I play an 8 spade card, that 8 spade blocks all but 2 of the damage of this card for the rest of the round. So that's really helpful to have that happen. High cards and low cards are good in this game. High cards are good at dealing like a lot of damage, about blocking a lot of damage if it's a spade. But low cards are really good for precision. And low cards are also good if you need to discard some cards. Because say in that example, I have an 8 of spades out there. At the end of my turn, I'm going to be dealt 2 damage. And that means I need to discard cards that add up to at least 2. If I only have really high number cards in my hand, I can only discard one. I would only need to discard one card in that circumstance, but it feels like a huge amount of kind of loss aversion there. If I'm discarding a 7 card, even though I only took 2 damage, that doesn't feel so good. So it actually feels good to have some lower number cards in hand, because that allows you to be more precise in terms of how much damage you discard. Precision also matters, because when you deal kind of the killing blow to the card, if you deal the exact amount of damage needed instead of going over, you get to place this card on the top of the draw deck instead of on the bottom of the draw deck. So either way, this card is entering circulation. You get to use these cards to combat the higher level cards or the other cards that you're combating against. But I really like the idea of precision helping you get that card faster. I thought that was a really clever twist. There's also, with low cards, one of the things for low cards is that if you add together multiple low cards of the same number and they add up to 10 or less, I believe that's the threshold. If they add up to 10 or less, then you can play multiple cards at once and trigger multiple abilities for the total sum. So if I add a 4 of diamonds and a 4 of spades, the total is 8. I'm going to draw 8 cards for all players and block 8 damage for all players. So that feels like this combo element that feels really good. But the game limits you to that. You can't go, I believe that the threshold is a sum of 10. So you can't put together 2 6s or 2 7s. So those low cards are good there too. I can go on and on. It's just a really, really clever, simple design that uses, I don't even want to say simple. Simple doesn't do justice for the thought that put into this design, but really clever escalating cooperative game. I really could go on and mention other elements here, but you can watch a full description of the game to do that. But yeah, I'll go back to my favorite mechanism real quick. The fact that no players draw cards by default. You need a player to do that for you. Great little twist to add to cooperative games, I think, in games where you're drawing cards or have hand management. Let me know your favorite mechanism in Regicide in the comments below. And yeah, if these mechanisms remind you of any other games as well, feel free to let me know about that in the comments below as well. Thanks.